Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Erica Kane. Today I wanted to do story time and tell you all about my amazing testimony. So let's take it back 19 years ago. I was 13 years old. I was getting up, getting ready for school. And every movement that I made, I had this pain in my stomach. It hurt to walk. Every movement, it was just painful. So I called my mom, and I was telling her, like, I'm hurting, something's wrong. And she was like, of course, a typical parent, girl, nothing's wrong with you. You're going to school. Okay, so I've never been sick as a child other than the common cold. I get to school, make it to lunchtime, began to throw up. I threw up in the middle of the cafeteria. So embarrassing, so embarrassing. So my teacher came to me and she rushed me outside to go to the nurse. And as we're going outside, I threw up yet again. And there was like little seats and tables outside where kids could eat lunch. And I'm like, oh my God, Jesus, what's wrong? I'm so embarrassed. So I make it to the nurse's office. She's trying to call my mother. We're not able to get in contact with my mother. So we reach my grandmother. My grandmother, she's like, baby, what's wrong? She's just asking, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know, something's wrong. I can't get in contact with my mother. And she was like, it's okay, we'll get in contact with her, just give me a minute. So we finally got in contact with my mother. The nurses spoke with her. She came and got me. She took me to a local hospital. I won't say the name because to this day, I cannot stand that hospital. But anyways, I went to the hospital. I was jaundiced. That's where we knew something was wrong, because I was jaundiced. If you don't know what jaundice is, it's discoloration, yellow pigmentation of the skin. I was jaundiced of the in my eyes. My skin complexion was yellow. So the doctor came in and he's like, "Oh, you're fine. It's just a regular pigmentation of your skin." So of course my mom did not accept that. She said, this is not the regular pigmentation of her skin. I know, something is wrong, blah, 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 blah. So we left the emergency room in my hometown. Again, I dare not say the name. I still remember the doctor's name, plain as day. Anyways, so we go to my PCP. If you don't know what PCP is acronym for, primary care physician. Dr. Kenneth J. Howard. If you're looking for a primary care physician, definitely go to Harbin Clinic. Dr. Kenneth J. Howard, Jerome Howard, he's a wonderful physician. So I did not have an appointment, but they fit me in. He came to the front. He immediately rushed me to the back, like, oh my God, something's wrong with this baby. We need to see what's going on. So he starts to order blood work, and he's like, okay, it's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour for the results to come back. So my mom takes me home. I'm just resting, laying down. We finally get the call, and he's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. He's like, oh my God, something's wrong with this baby. Her liver enzymes are elevated. So after that, we got the results. He said we need to get her to CHOA, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. As soon as I got there that night, they immediately began work. So many test results, IVs, in places I didn't even know they could go. I'm sorry. They immediately started work on me as soon as I got there. But like I said, I was never sick as a child. We don't know what happened or how this just came about. It just all of a sudden, it just hit all of a sudden, just jaundice. I became ill and my body was not functioning. Everything was just starting to deteriorate so quickly. So like I said, I get to CHOA. They start all this work. That night or that morning, I had a liver transplant. Unfortunately, that transplant, the liver was not functioning as it should. So I went back into surgery. I had another transplant. I did not get the, I ended up having 3 transplants until I actually got one that was actually functioning for me and working for me, working as it should. I remember waking up, I'm pointing to my stomach. I'm just pointing to my stomach. And the doctors and the nurses, they're like, she's in pain. Give her something for pain. She needs something for pain. And my mom, I remember my mom, she was asking me, Kane, are you in pain? Kane, are you in pain? I said, no. I kept shaking my head, no, like, no. And so she said, are you trying to say something? I said, yes. I didn't say yes. I was like nodding my head, yes. And then she was like, what are you trying to say? She's like, she's like, is it over? Have you had the transplant? And I was like, I shook my head, yes. Like, is it over? And then I immediately started crying because I'm like, oh my God, thank God that this is over. At that age, I really didn't understand what was going on. However, I knew that it was something serious. So after my transplant, I began rehabilitation and gained my strength back, and everything was very well, worked very good. The doctors, the surgeons at CHOA, Children's Health of Atlanta, was phenomenal. After that, fast forward, I was good. They gave me, I was told that the max of a liver transplant was 10 years. I superseded that by 7. I had my liver transplant for 17 years. However, I want to fast forward now to that 17th year. May and June. April and May. I had 2 biopsies because my transplant. Okay, my first liver began to fail. Why? Of course, it just did. They didn't have an explanation. I just became ill again. People started to not see me as they used to, as much as they used to. April and May, I had 2 biopsies of the liver. The first one was an indication that it was a failure. They did a second one in May just to, I guess, confirm, verify. But the second one, they went through my neck because I had complications with the first biopsy that they had did. So they told me that May 28th, they told me that I would need to have another transplant, liver transplant. But this time, however, I would also need a kidney transplant as well. Due to all the steroids that I was on for all those years, 17 years, I went into renal failure. So when you go into renal failure, of course, it has to do with your kidneys, need a kidney transplant. So June 2nd, 2017, I had my second liver transplant, first kidney transplant. Again, I was very, very blessed. I was definitely blessed. I was like, oh my God, like God is really working. God has something great for me, for the things that I've been through in life. I never complain about anything. I just take my days as they come. So I had this second liver, first kidney transplant. The kidney transplant was a little harder for me, I guess, because unfortunately, I was used to the pain of the liver transplant, my first liver transplant. So that really, even though I was in pain, the kidney really affected me the most. So the hard part about all this was the rehabilitation. I could barely get into bed. I could barely lift my feet without any help. But needless to say, the organs worked phenomenal. They worked as they should. They were functioning as they should. And I was very, very ecstatic about that. Very, very excited. But still to this day, I'm very happy. I wouldn't change anything. I've been through a lot. People, my family members, they tell me that they're so proud of me. And, I have a wonderful, wonderful support team from my family, church congregation. But at the same time, even though I have that great support team, when you've been through something like that, no one truly understands how you feel, the things that you think, your daily task. When you've dealt with something like that, the daily pain, you're still, even though that these organs are functioning as they should, 100%, I'm so, like I said, again, just so happy because, my physicians tell me that, the liver that I have now is sexier than my first one. So that's a great confirmation. It's a wonderful confirmation that things are definitely working and functioning as they should. I have a clip that I want to show you all of what I've been through. So this was my story. So now you're definitely about to see my journey. Thanks for listening. Well, first, I want to say this. If you definitely feel like you can't talk to anyone that they don't understand what you've been through, if you want to DM me, message me, talk to me about anything, you can definitely do that, because I definitely understand a lot of things. I've been through a lot of things. I really do believe that we can connect on that level. If you just want someone to talk to, just someone to listen to you, someone to give you some advice, I'd be more than willing to do that. You can DM me on Facebook, Erica Kane Henderson, my channel, Erica Kane, my email, Kane, Erica, KaneErykah 247 at gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I definitely don't mind. I would definitely love to reach many people if possible. Again, so like I said, this is my story. So now the next clip that you will see is my journey. Enjoy. I hope you all enjoy. And by the way, this is very graphic, very graphic. So view at your own discretion.